Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just wanted to get on camera and explain to people the full nature of what DEI actually means, since everybody seems to be stuck on this right now. It is an acronym for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, first of all, a lot of people, what they have a problem with is the D. That's funny. So, no, that's not a funny joke about lesbians. Sorry, I did not mean to offend anybody. Basically, diversity is where everybody has a chance, is included. Technically, diversity has nothing to do with giving somebody a free chance. Diversity just means you're pulling a skilled candidate from Africa America. You're pulling a skilled candidate from Little India. You're pulling a skilled candidate from the Native Americans. You're diversifying your work staff instead of having a bunch of DEI Caucasians. Let me explain what that means. This is a predominantly Caucasian country, although it's mixed and diverse. If you receive a job because white people deserve those jobs, that's DEI. You're being included in a diversely skilled network. I hope you understand what I just said. If your job is only white men, all those white men are DEIs. They're not skilled in that labor. They're treating white men like they're born skilled, and that's not how it works. As a matter of fact, you guys' little fantasy land of Caucasians knowing everything about mechanics and cars and technicalities and fixing things is dying out quick with social media and the new age of entertainment. And as I keep telling people, and they be like, well, the Caucasians learned everything, we knew everything, we taught everybody. No, you didn't. Do some history. Somebody never taught you history. Y'all couldn't even colonize Africa at first. You had to go around and get other countries to do it. Then you guys couldn't survive in America either. The Native Americans taught you all how to live. Not the Africans. We already knew how to live in Africa. When you guys only see jungle and spirits and stuff, you're looking at tribes that are over 100,000 years old. Not modern civilized African countries. 2,000, 3,000 years ago, these places were beautiful. Now they look like sand traps and deserts. Caucasians aren't some natural race of gods. Godliness is acquired. The only thing that each man is given is free will. And if a man would like to rebuke his free will for programming, he's still exercising his free will to do so. Back to DEI, equity. I know a lot of you like to just watch cartoons and The Apprentice, but equity is money. When banks were bailed out, when automakers were bailed out, when all these corporations are bailed out or given tax relief, that's equity. They're trying to keep it included with the people who already have it. That's called conservatism. If you feel like America is bad right now and you're a conservative, you might be mentally retarded. Because by nature, you're saying you wish to conserve what's happening. But 5, maybe 10% of Americans own wealth, one own the real wealth percent, and yet 90 to 99% of these broke idiots still advocate for billionaires and the rich. Watch this. We're tired of these blackies and having ghettos and housing and all this stuff. It's taking our money. Not realizing we're but a percentage of a percentage. You just took all these Caucasians and all these different people's Section 8 away with what y'all did. Y'all don't know about Section 8 and the trailer park and everything else because y'all just listen to what y'all see in the media. Let me tell you something about food stamps. We're 44% of the population and but a percentage of SNAP. Go look up the numbers. 46% of people on welfare are Caucasian. Barely 20% of 44 million. You know what type of a fraction that is compared to anything else with any of these other numbers? You could take a certain amount and make all African Americans rich. You couldn't do that with no other demographic in this country for that low except Asians. Did you know that? Technically, if we treat Semitic what it's supposed to be, which is yellow, which is light skinned, a mix between African and European or Neanderthal, that's Semitic, yellow peoples. So technically, they're not the only minority if you mix, because what they're doing is they're turning certain Asians, Middle Easterns, Egyptians, and different races white, Italian and stuff, until they commit crimes. They're not white. The Neanderthals mixed with the Denisovans and the Asians, then mixed with the Africans and created Homo sapien. There was already Homo sapiens here for over 300,000 years. You all are new. Because first evolution, then once the genes evolved, you assimilated back into human culture. This is in written history. Anybody that's at a job outside of skilled work is a DEI. If an African American doctor has been working at a doctor's in the field of medicine for 25 years and has been doing great, and he's working alongside a Caucasian kid who just left internship a year and a half, 2 years ago, that Caucasian kid is a DEI because he has no skills yet. They're including him in the hospital wanting it to be all Caucasian. Because the number of people, and I've seen it in real time, whether I'm a patient myself or whether I'm working with some staff that say some crazy shit or family, I've heard people say they don't want to live in a facility anymore because now Jews own it. I've heard people say that they don't want this Indie Hindu doctor. I've heard people say, does this African doctor even speak English, and save their fucking life? The problem with Democrats and the problem with people who want a liberal world is that you're forgetting one major thing. Free will is not profitable. Look at the animals in the field. When I say free will is not profitable, I'm not an enslaver. I'm saying you have to train people the right way. Without any training or anything, we would be, I don't give a fuck what skin color you are. You wouldn't know nothing about language or nothing. None of these things that we have acquired, learned, and built up are natural. These are all learned behaviors from a stem of civilization that has perpetually been going like space-time. So, DEI, boy. First of all, let me tell you all in an RPG what a legendary, an epic, a rare, and a common is, or a uncommon and an uncommon. Because African Americans haven't been given the proper education or anything, with us being the smallest minority in this country besides Asians, who y'all can lump in with the other yellow people. I've said this before because they do that with Haitians and other blacks. Those of us who are intelligent, brilliant, surviving and doing our thing, we are legendaries. We make a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a fraction of an anomaly. Although it wouldn't be this way, we are but geniuses and have created civilization, but people cut off our self-worth and our knowledge of self. When I say knowledge of self, if a man knows all these things, because he's learned them. If you cut all those things off, he'd be worthless now, right? He wouldn't have knowledge of the things he knew before. Africans came up with sailing. Africans came up with science and technology and civilization. The word Sunesis is where psychology comes from, where all these Greeks get all these words like Yehohanan, Jehovah, Yahweh, from Naya. Go look up a lot of Ethiopians. I guarantee you there's more Yehos in Ethiopia and these African countries, and Nayas and different names that come from these things. They've been lying. And they tried to make us look like dumbasses. They tried to harm us by removing programs, but don't understand statistics. Even if every African American, every single one of us was on a program getting money, we, out of 44 million, we still will be getting less than 215 million Caucasians, almost however many of 100 million maybe Hispanics, all types of Middle Easterns, Asians, and everybody else. And y'all coming after a percentage of a percentage of a percentage? You hurt yourselves. That's like cutting a little bitty piece of pie, right? A tiny piece of pie. But you poison the pie. The whole pie, but you cut out a little itty bitty piece. And the thing is about with certain poisons and having to eat so much of something, when you eat that little bitty piece, you might be safe, especially if you got a lot of body weight. I'm not telling people to eat poison. That's not what this is. I'm saying in a world of anomalies and statistics and certain poisons, if you cut out a tiny piece of that pie and eat it, you might not be affected. But if you cut out the biggest slice of that fucking pie and eat that poison pie, you'll probably die. That's what's happening to Caucasian right now. And it's going to continue to happen because now you're slaves. In the South, it's $7.25. $7.50 times 40 is $300. That's the work week. Some people get paid per week. Slave minimum wage is $7.25 times 40, which most people don't even get, minus taxes and breaks, you're barely getting 280, maybe 275. Worth less than slaves back then, now. Emancipated slaves was worth $300 each. Think about what I'm telling y'all. The more y'all spiral down this hellhole of hatred, the more y'all spiral down this hellhole of following everything some dumbass tells y'all, how many more of y'all are going to get on camera and say, I had no idea the ACA was Obamacare? How many of y'all are going to get on here and say, I had no idea Snaps was link card? How many of y'all going to get on here and say, I had no idea SSI was benefits? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Y'all thought SSI had to do with getting old, right? But y'all say African Americans have a lesser lifespan and Caucasians' basic lifespan is like, what, 70, 80 and all that? So who's using SSI? You hurt yourselves. And you're going to continue to hurt yourselves because then you all say people shouldn't have this, they shouldn't have programs. If you're receiving any type of anything, if you're a man and your wife helping you pay the rent, remember that the next time you run your fucking mouth and say you tired of people receiving help all the time. The only reason your forefathers was able to have one income families and have a woman that had all type of slaves, house servants that did everything from breastfeeding to cleaning the houses and washing their asses. Because your servants, so your slaves did it. All these unregistered, undocumented people still paying taxes. All these African Americans with no programs or benefits or reparations still paying taxes. All these people receiving benefits, SSI, Link, Section 8, Medicaid, churches paying their electric, light, heat, and everything else, and got the fucking nerve to say they wish this country was better. Y'all are about to learn. And everybody's saying, black people, stop what the fuck around, find out. Stop with what? We're just... So imagine you African American, only three... I'm going to give you statistics. 6.8 million crimes committed in 2019. 6,500 murders went unsolved in Caucasian areas. Because if they were in our areas, they were all on the news, I promise you. Shooting up schools, not being called terrorist stuff. 6.8 million crimes. 4.7 million of them Caucasians. 1.8 million African Americans. There was 47 million African Americans. That's 3% of African Americans. 210 million or 200 million Caucasians, 4.7 million. Now think about what I'm telling y'all. That's 2% of crime because of their numbers. Their 2% usurped everybody else combined. When you deal with statistics and have a larger population of somebody, they are larger with everything. Then they said 6,500 murders went unsolved, told all of black murders, and tried to say it looked like we were the murderers. That was the only thing that we topped in murders. But in their science classes, in their sociology classes, and political science classes, all murders and things that happen within the demographic of the people dealing with them. All those Caucasian. You don't believe me? Go watch Cold Case Files. First 48, boy, they catching them and snagging them. Then go watch Cold Case Files. We're awake now. We have technology and information now. I don't blame my forefathers because they didn't have access to these things. Not even my parents, who were born in the 60s, and the civil rights movement wasn't until 1968. Who had to deal with white people smacking them on the head and telling them they were human. But you blacks and your reverse racism, y'all gonna learn today. And keep getting on the internet being edgelords. It'll make it funnier when y'all shit fucking plummet. Every fucking racist ate this, that, and all that shit y'all talk. It'll be funnier when global warming hits and you have no melanin and your skin can't absorb any sunlight, but yet burns you. The poles just shifted. A couple of them flat earthers went up there and saw the sun for 24 hours. Science ain't as fake as y'all thought. DEI, huh? The number of immigrants that came to this country because of Democrats, because of programs. You thought the right was letting y'all in? And now I hear people saying, what could the Democrats have done more to blah, blah, blah. Y'all let Elon Musk's machine count the votes? Starlink? Boy, what more could Democrats have done? Y'all are suffering from a cognitive dissonance that's like a... Nick Fuentes said once, your face keeps hitting the ceiling. That's right-wing Caucasian nationalist racists in the basement. Y'all steadily hitting the brick ceiling, and we up here enjoying the rest of the house, and ain't got to deal with y'all at all. Y'all thought y'all was finna hurt African Americans by being fucking idiotic, racist, and stupid and mentally ill, and you found out today. So go get on Khan Academy, learn about some statistics, learn some things, then learn what statistic you all are to the world and what Ibrahim Traore and the rest of these African countries are doing right now. Y'all have but a space of time. I am a patient man, and so is the Lord. But y'all, for y'all, it's about this fucking close. All them Hindu and Indian gods was black. The forefathers and the creators of everything was African. Y'all keep talking about this in Matrix, but who's the system owner? I warned y'all of a system update 2 years ago. Now look what's happening. I don't care if people believe me or not. My name's the same as Yanez. Look at my chin hair. It's turning white, right? Taking my hood off and my hair is turning white in certain places. So in about 20 years, I will literally look like the ancient one. But when I say that, y'all don't like being literal then. It don't matter what people tell y'all. Y'all created an image in y'all mind that y'all was told not to idol. Many of y'all with this Bible and everything else. So when I come through like in the days of Abraham when he didn't want to make that sacrifice and that lamp came through and burnt up the animals, let it be like the Beatles, baby. Because, look, they showed Taylor Swift's face on a billboard and she got booed, or on a picture screen at the Super Bowl, she got booed. Beyonce won Country Artist of the Year, and Kendrick Lamar just got to play at the Super Bowl, and now it's the hottest name in the world. And all you haters on the internet are being flooded by awakened people. They finding messages I didn't even see. And you know something else? Africa's building up. You know who helping them? The same Russia and China y'all hated. Now y'all getting on red note. We love China. These people aren't dictators. Blah, 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 blah. Right. So I wasn't lying, right? I don't got no reason to lie to y'all. Keep being destructive and it's going to come back. And Africa will rule. Because Rican, Puerto Rican, Spaniards, and all that, the little straight Morocco, y'all should do some history of why they don't want to call y'all white.